Welcome to the Freedom Founder Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Duggar. Now, some people out there think that they cannot do anything in the entrepreneurial space, or they think, what else can I offer beyond my employment, beyond my W 2 job? Well, remember that you have skills that you are learning along the way because you always have to keep on continually learning, and those skills can lend themselves to a new career, a new path, a new venture that you are taking, sometimes even long into your W 2 career. So, my guest today, Rahul Karan Sharma, is going to share a little bit about his journey and what he is up to now in the entrepreneurial space. So, thank you for joining us today, Rahul.
Thank you, Jack, for having me here. I'm very excited to share with my audience about the next steps.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Well, let's get started with just talking about what has been your career, what's been your kind of career path that you've been on since adulthood.
Sure. So I have been into learning and development space, Jack, for over 12 years. And
Okay.
prior to that, I was into staffing industry. I'm currently into staffing industry. And over the period of time, I realized that teaching and giving back to society is gives me utmost pleasure, and that's where I've started supporting individuals within the organization, or probably who have worked with me in the past. I still get connected with them and providing them the guidance, some direction, and some wisdom based on my experience.
Yeah. Now, and that's something that people really value when they experience that, because I know as a person who has had a mentor and has mentors, I often couldn't do what I'm doing without that additional support. And so I highly value that. So tell me a little bit about that. How, in what ways do you give back to others and have helped others along the way?
So one of the ways is to just listening to them, their challenges, their issues, and
Okay.
asking the right questions. The answers, in my opinion, lies within themselves, and they just need a mentor or coach who can give them direction, who can give them the confidence that they already have. uh, I have noticed that most of the times they lack confidence. The people who come to me, they lack confidence, or probably they are doing something new, they are not sure, and they just need some support, some positivity along the way.
Yep.
And I guide them through my experience. I guide them about sharing with them what would be the best for them according to them. So sometimes, Jack, people don't know about themselves.
Yeah.
They just are on a path, but they are not aware of their core strengths, core areas of improvement. And that sometimes, someone who is a third party who will be able to analyze based off through some assessments or through asking few questions. So I give them positivity, I give them the support that they need, and give them direction. And most of the time I have seen things getting better. I do not know if they're just telling me to please me, but that's what I have heard. Things getting better. And the focus is just not the professional life, Jack. It's all about the personal life as well,
Yeah.
because there's so much of stress going on, so much of mental health issues coming in. So it's
Mhm.
very, very important for our listeners, as well as our corporate employees or entrepreneurs, to be well rounded and making sure that they are taking care of their health as well.
Yeah, I think that's something that is very important, especially in this day and age. That there is, I've just heard the statistic on the radio that 1 in 8 people suffer from some mental health challenge, and I think that's telling that there are a lot of people out there that are dealing with some real life issues, and there are often people that don't want to talk about it, or don't think they should talk about it, or don't
Mhm.
think they should work on that. It's just something that they need to deal with or live with and not
Right.
really deal with. And so I think that's
Absolutely.
really helpful that you're considering that side of someone's life as well in the process. And I also really like, Rahul, that you said that you ask them questions, because sometimes it's just them discovering things through you asking questions and helping them to get to those right answers themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, Jack, there is a very common phenomena. We have heard that people don't like change. People resist change. And my thought process is people only resist change when they are not involved in the change process.
Mm,
When they are involved, when they are participating in the change process, they love it. Think about it. Whenever you have bought a new car, or you have built your own house, or probably you're going on a vacation to a new city or a new country, we are excited because we have designed the path, we have decided the location. So that is where most of the change management concepts or principles do not work, because not everyone is involved. The decision is
yeah.
made at a board level, or probably just a group of leaders. And we see that change, people resist change. So my thought process is people don't resist change, they just want to be involved.
Yeah, no, that's a great point as well. I think there are a lot of people that have difficulty when they're told that this is going to change or that this is how the change is going to be without having any consideration of involvement in that process. And sometimes that's how it has to work, but there
Correct.
are often occasions where people can have some level of involvement,
Hmm.
even just awareness that change is occurring and opportunity to give feedback as part of that process. But I think personally, on that personal level, I think it's great when you're working to help them be involved with their own positive change in their own lives that you're doing just through talking, just through working together on a process.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I agree with your point that not every change management process would have a need to involve everyone, but it's not about the decision that has been taken. Let's say the leadership
Mhm.
can take a decision of what the next course of action, but then how to execute those decisions. That is where, if we can involve, if corporate leaders can involve the employees, and not to involve them just for the sake of involvement.
Yeah.
It is the true involvement, that they are heard, you are really listening them to listen, not just because you want to look good. A lot of people, they say that okay, they want to involve people, inclusivity, but at the back of their day, there's no inclusivity, because they're not listening really, they're just listening to make look good.
Yep.
But if corporate leaders can really show empathy towards employees, show that they are interested in their own change. They are the whatever the change is happening is for better. It is just not benefit the organization, but it will benefit the employees as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, from that, I gather it sounds like you not only work with individuals, but that you also can work with groups or organizations in a larger context. Is that correct?
So within my own capacity, I work with multiple leaders who are managing their small businesses, which is a group of 10 to 12, or maybe it could be a region, or it could be a country. So yes, I work with leaders across the globe.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's tremendous. Now, I think if I recall correctly, you have also written some books.
Yes, yes, I have written two books, Jack, Be Action Oriented and Habits for Miracles.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about action specifically. Maintaining consistent action and kind of molding our lives to align with vision. I think there's some elements that you've described that help with that process.
Sure. So what I learned, Jack, is it's earlier when I was growing up in my own corporate level, I was with the mindset that it has to be perfect. If it has to happen, it has to be perfect.
Hmm.
And over a period of time, I realized that there is no such thing called perfection. It is all about the mindset, it is all about the perspective. So I started changing myself with taking action. Whether it's a perfect, not perfect, it's just you need to take consistent, imperfect action. And that is how we move to the next level. And it has helped me personally, professionally. It is I'm My kids are the guinea pigs. I execute these things on them, and I'm seeing the progress. um, Last couple of weeks I was out for some personal stuff, and I could not take action, and I'm seeing that impact just because I was out taking off some personal emergency. But I realized that if I would have taken action, things would be different. Now I have to start back and bring those action again. So if we just focus on imperfect action, it's always it's a gray area. There is no black and white. So if we can focus on taking consistent imperfect action, and for that action there are a couple of things, Jack, is important. As I was telling you earlier, is
Mhm.
knowing about our own self, who we are, what are our strengths, what is something that we need to work on. The other aspect is the why behind that action, why we want to take that action. Unless and until that why is not clear, and there is a great book by Simon on Start With Why. It really talks about that why it is important for you to know why. So once we know our why, that really will push us to take that action. Analyze ourselves, knowing our strength, as I said earlier. Focus on celebrating the small wins. It is just not about the end objective or end goal, but whatever minute success you are having, celebrate it, enjoy it, and enjoy the process. Sometimes what happens is we don't enjoy the process, we just go with the grind. But that's where that stress starts coming in my
Mhm.
opinion. So as long as it's possible, we can enjoy, that would be good for our own health.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of really good points in there. I mean, starting with why and knowing what that purpose is for you and the actions that you're taking. Also celebrating the small wins, because when you focus solely on that end goal, and oftentimes it's not an overnight end goal to get there, and it
Absolutely.
definitely creates stress and anxiety when you don't focus on the small measurable goals along the way that you can celebrate and enjoy in that process of getting there. Imperfect action. I also like how you said that, because there are so many of us that want everything to be perfect before we even take action that delays us from even starting. So
Hmm.
when we can identify that consistent action, even imperfect action, will produce results that otherwise we wouldn't achieve if we were not taking any action, because we're waiting until that perfection comes to play. And it's not usually how things work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, you also talk about mindset in that process, and kind of just being able to have a mindset that allows you to craft your own reality. Can you
Hmm.
talk a little bit further about that topic?
Sure, sure. So this is the concept I mentioned in my book, Habits for Miracles. And I believe that everything that we do, it starts with our mind. Our
Yeah.
mind is the greatest gift of the nature the Almighty has given to us. And if we use it wisely, we can really create our own miracles. And I have introduced the concept of mind talk, often known as self talk. Uh,
Mhm.
and what I spoke or what I wrote in my book is the when we speak to our mind positively, the mind will inject positive thoughts within us. And when those positive thoughts are there in our mind, it enables us to take positive action. And then positive action in turn brings positive results. So there's something, circle of happiness. So you think positive, you take positive action, you get positive results. And mind talk, the main reason I've spoken about it, because I've personally experienced it, that how positive talk to your own self can really create the path for success. I have seen the success within my own kids, my own family. Personally, I've seen it with a couple of my colleagues, friends, with whom I
Mhm.
have introduced the concept, who have read my book. They come and tell me how it is working for them. And it is not rocket science, Jack. It is just about whatever you want to achieve if you talk to yourself on a regular basis. And it's not just speaking to yourself will make things happen. I'm not saying that. Definitely we have to take action
Mhm.
accordingly. But uh, if our mind is prepared to take that action, then there is a likelihood of that action happening. But if we are not even thinking about it, we will not be able to move the needle. So for me, I do positive mind talk early in the morning when I get up, as well as when I'm going to bed. Now I have not put the alarm that okay I have to take it, but it has become natural. Yes, sometimes I do miss it when I'm too tired, but I try to do it on a regular basis, and then I focus on the action that I want to take that will help me realizing that result come true. Because it's not that I say something positive that okay today I will have a good day. Yes, I want to have a good day, but first of all my mind needs to be ready to have that good day. I need to be very positive towards life. So mind talk is that, and there is a process of this, Jack. The process is pretty simple. You need to focus on one or two things that you want to achieve that particular day, and if we talk about it to your own internal mind, things will work out your way. Things will work because it is in your mind. See, if whatever is happening, it's happening first in our mind. So that's where I have spoken about or written about this concept, mind talk. We can write our own reality. We can create our own miracles. And miracles, also in my book, I'm not talking about those supernatural miracles, Jack. I'm
Mm.
talking about things that you could not do before. And if you're able to do now, in my mind, that is a miracle,
Yeah.
right? So and we all have it in us. It's something that we are craving. We are craving for success. We are craving for miracles to happening in our life. We are craving for positivity in our life. But the action has to be taken by us, and that occurs from our mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the description of miracles as well, and something that you weren't able to accomplish before, but now you are able to accomplish because of that change in your mind talk and how you're speaking to yourself on that routine basis. Now, if you're working with somebody or talking with somebody who maybe doesn't have that mindset right now, or maybe just has difficulty because their mind talk is not very positive, are there ways that you encourage them to kind of start shifting in this other direction, or any kind of guidance that you give them?
Yeah, so there are a couple of things. Two things which is coming to my mind right now. One is it's about their where they are living, whom with whom are they living, what is the energy level in their home, in their mind, or in their nearby. So where I'm going at is, the people who are in your inner circle. Who are the people in your inner circle? Do you have people who are giving you positivity, or who are extracting positivity from you, or probably giving you more negative? So I think that is very, very critical in my mind. The
Mhm.
second piece is you have to have a mentor or a coach, or a or maybe a friend who can guide you in the right path.
Yeah.
Sometimes what happens, the people with whom we talk, they are just like us, and they are just adding fuel to the fire
Mm.
rather than correcting us, rather than giving us the right advice. So that's where, people with whom who are you with, is very, very important. And having a right mentor, right coach, is also another important thing. So I would recommend to those people who are having that negative mindset or not in a right mindset, to really see who are they surrounded with, and
Mm.
two, if they have a coach or a guide in their career or life, would recommend them to talk to them.
Yeah, someone can be bringing you energy, bringing you positivity, helping you to steer your mind in the right direction, or they could be doing the opposite and just feeding into that negativity and adding more fuel to that fire, which does not bring yourself to that point of a positive mindset. And so
Right.
I agree that surrounding yourself with people who share that positive mindset, or that maybe that you don't quite yet share, but you see it in them, and that
Mhm.
they are providing that to you, and you're present with them, and just evaluating who you are, having your inner circle. Sometimes that means changing things up a little bit, and that's not always easy to do, but it also can be very life changing. And then
Absolutely.
having a mentor, somebody, a coach, it doesn't even have to be, like you said, it could be a friend, somebody
Mhm.
who is in your corner and willing to help keep you accountable and able to provide that support. It could be a pastor, could be
Yeah.
just an older male relative, female relative, could be somebody else in your life that just is willing to be there for you if you give them the time and opportunity to do so.
Correct. 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 One another thing coming to my mind as you were talking about this
Yep.
individual or whoever this person is, or probably the group of people. I also recommend people to have gratitude towards life,
Mm.
thankful for whatever we have. Sometimes in middle of getting more, we tend to forget what we have, and we don't value what we have. Uh, and it is important for us to. A lot of people talk about gratitude journal. I'm not going on the gratitude journal, but at least if we can start thinking about that one or two things that we are thankful for in a day, do some act of gratitude, help someone. Um, Today, ironically, when I was dropping my kids, my son asked me, today we have our helper coming in.
Mm.
So he was asking me that, Dad, why do you give food to these people? Why do you offer snacks or drinks? Do they pay you? And I said, no, they don't. But if I can afford, if I can do it, I should do it. And they have been working for whole day, 4 or 5 hours, not having lunch. So if we can offer them, that's a sense of gratitude towards them. So where I'm going at is this is a teaching happening for my son who is
Mhm.
just 9 year old, and as he's growing up, probably he will learn these things. So it's so important that with whom you are around, it's very very important.
Yeah, such a great example for your family. I think that's something that kids really do see, what their parents or adult caregivers in their lives do. Their actions, their words strongly influence the way that they think and the way that they act as they grow as well. So, attitude of gratitude is something that doesn't have to be on Thanksgiving only or the
Yeah.
month of November. I agree with you wholeheartedly that that should be something we are considering on a daily basis. Not just that things we're thankful for, but as you described, ways that we can give back to others, because we oftentimes have maybe even just a small way that we can do something for someone and experience that joy, that gratitude, not because of having to do so, but like you said, because you can, and you
Yes.
you can experience that joy of giving through that other person and the gratitude that they have as well for things you've done.
Sure.
Now, I'd like to ask a question I like to ask all of my guests. If you were to be handed $1 million today, no strings attached, what would you do with that and why?
Okay, so there are two dreams I have. I do not know if both these dreams will be able to come true. But number one is I have seen many academies for sports. I have seen many academies for acting. I've not seen many academies for public speaking. That
Mm.
too specifically at the school level, high school or maybe middle school, or maybe at a college university level. So I do want to create an academy for public speaking, because I firmly believe that this is one of the greatest skill anyone can benefit from, not just in the professional life but in personal life.
Yep.
So that is something I can give back to society, by teaching school kids or college kids. Second is I definitely want to have a old age home in my hometown in India,
Mm.
where senior citizens can come and play and enjoy their livelihood. I do see there is a lack of those resources in India, at least in my town. So that will be the two things, Jack. I would spend that $1 million
Yeah.
uh, towards towards senior old age home, where it is more a recreation room, not like
Hmm.
for them to stay, but they can
Yeah.
come. It's just like we go to our health club. So
Hmm.
it will not have those machines, but yes, there will be some machines for physiotherapy. There will be card games, board games, some fun activity, television, so food, snacks, which will be offered to them at a very nominal price. So it will is more a recreation room for them, and then the academy for kids on public speaking.
Yeah. Yeah. The value and love of our elders and those that have gone before us. I think it comes through in that example. And then the public speaking, I agree. It made me want to think. Well, I got to look that up because I'm curious. I don't think that exists. There should be more resources. It's just such a strong skill for someone to develop, not just to speak in front of large groups, but being able to even go and interview at
Right, right.
a
And
job.
see that there are these Toastmasters clubs are there, and
Uh-huh.
I was searching for my own daughter,
Yeah.
and I couldn't find. I couldn't find that. Okay, oh man, there are 20. Like if you search for a restaurant, there are hundreds of restaurants. You search for a health club, there are so many. You search
Yeah.
for a dancing school, there are many. But I couldn't find in the vicinity, which I'm Northern Virginia.
Mhm.
Yes, there are some. I'm not saying there is nothing, but I want to scale it up, and I want to focus more on teaching them the right things. And our school system is doing it. I'm not saying that they don't have those
Yeah.
presentations or those public speaking skills, but if we can inculcate more in the early childhood, I think it
Yeah.
will be a best gift for throughout their life.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that, Rahul. Now, if our guests want to find out more about the work that you're doing now, your books, or any type of topic that you're teaching on or coaching on, what's the best way for someone to connect with you?
They can log into my website, habitsformiracles.com, or they can find me on LinkedIn. If they just type in my book name and my name, they will be able to find my LinkedIn as well. And
Okay.
I'm looking forward to helping the society.
Absolutely. I love that. Habits, the number four, miracles.com. Please check out Rahul's work and his books and the work that he's doing. I know he'd love to connect with many of you. So thank you again, Rahul, for this time. I really appreciated the time we had to talk today.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you for